I don't know about you guys, but I feel very, very different about Obama's position since the Obamacare rollout. It's been so catastrophic. And as I said before, the reason that the Obamacare rollout has been so damaging to him was because you can't spin the distance between an envelope and a citizen's eyeballs. You can have your media get out there and get in front of you on just about everything, and have your movie stars and Lady Gaga and everybody else tell you that this is wonderful, it's just great, it's terrific. And oh, who wouldn't want free care, free health care? Who wouldn't want that? But when you open your envelope and you find out that your insurance policy has been canceled, or your rates have gone up by 70% or tripled, or your deductibles tripled, there's nothing he can do about that. That's reality. And reality is smacking them right in the face. All these guys. And I think 38% approval today for Barack Obama. That's an alarming. It's an alarming number for a man with 3 years left in his presidency to be at 38% with 3 years to go. I don't know what he's going to do to pull those numbers up. Is he going to kill bin Laden again? That's probably it. We're going to launch an international, highly secretive and top secret deal where U.S. Navy SEALs will exit the bottom of a submarine at the depths of the ocean, and clad in the latest form of extremely sophisticated, classified, deep sea diving gear, they'll be able to recover the body of Osama bin Laden, bring it back up to the surface, prop him up against a wall someplace, and they'll shoot him again, and that'll get the president's numbers back up. But other than that, I don't know what he's going to do. And I think once people start seeing him as a liar, then everything starts to get a little more interesting. And I even see signs, distant signs, that the press is actually starting to do its job. And if the press starts doing its job, if the American people realize this guy's been lying to us, and they just see through the aegis of Yeah, tell me what you think. You get a preview. This will be the firewall I'm going to shoot tomorrow. Bring the firewall brand back would it be nice. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Firewall. I'm Bill Whittle. You know, a lot of people, reasonably enough, have a love-hate relationship with reality. For example, if I stood here and told you that last night I flew to Venus in a spaceship made out of plywood, duct tape, and a lawnmower engine, I'll bring this around so the sight lines are better, and that the proof of me having been there and back in a few hours is this rock that I picked up on the surface. Well, reality, what's the word I'm looking for here? Reality confines me into one of two different boxes. Either I'm lying or I'm crazy. Now, I can be both, but I have to be at least one. And by the way, for those of you out there thinking, well, someone would have to prove that you didn't go, or we won't know for sure until we test the rock, then look, that's probably best to just face it. Maybe you and reality are just not right for each other. Frankly, you might as well leave now, because this video is probably just going to tick you off, because, reality and we weren't even on speaking terms for a while, but we're dating now. So that's the opening. And then we get into, these cases. He said he didn't know anything about Reverend Wright. He was in that church for 20 years. Are you too stupid to pick up the anti-Americanism? Or are you lying? He said, I didn't, we didn't tell the president that we're going to have the trial of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Manhattan. We just sprang it on him. We didn't give him any warning or anything. Really? Really? You didn't tell the President of the United States, Mr. Attorney General, that you're going to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Manhattan? You just kind of broke it to him? Yeah. Your president is either lying or he's incompetent. And if you did that without telling him after the big giant kerfluffle, certainly you were fired for it, right? No? What about Fast and Furious? You're selling guns. You're running guns to Mexico. Hundreds of guns, thousands of guns. You're going to give them to the cartels. And the Attorney General knows about it and is suppressing the whistleblowers and covering up, but the president didn't know. You just decided to do this on your own, Mr. Holder. That's the story from the Obama administration. So if Barack Obama is just merely incompetent and doesn't know what his own Department of Justice is doing on something that big, then surely he would have fired the man who launched this debacle, both the Khalid Sheikh Mohammed trial and Fast and Furious. That guy'd be fired twice, right? Nope, still there. Well, why wouldn't you fire him if you didn't know about it in advance, as you claim, Mr. Obama? If this guy took this action without letting you know about it, this catastrophic action in both cases, and didn't tell you, why isn't he fired? Or is it the other alternative? Let's see, what else do we have on the lovely wish list? Benghazi. Yeah, Benghazi went out for 10 days. 10 days, and said that this was the result of a movie that had been made months ago, obscure movie, and don't worry, we put the filmmaker in jail for exercising his First Amendment rights because the future does not belong to those who insult the Prophet of Islam. Glad to know that the president puts those who insult the Prophet of Islam in a case, behind the First Amendment that he swore an oath to defend. So he went out there and said, no, it wasn't a coordinated attack. It was the result of a movie. So either the President of the United States did not know for 10 days what his Chief of Staff, Secretary of State, National Security Advisors knew within 10, 15 minutes. Either the President was not aware of that for 10 days, which is criminal, impeachable negligence, or he's lying. The IRS, let's see, the Internal Revenue Service has been auditing conservative groups, but not liberal groups. Been doing it for quite a long time. The entire bureaucracy of the government, not just one or two cases, the entire bureaucracy basically is skewed to attack and to weaponize the IRS to go after conservative groups, but not liberal ones. And they just did this on their own. The president didn't know anything about it. Just listened to him. He said, "I only found out about it when I read the papers." Is that why you fired the head of the Internal Revenue Service the second you read the news report? You said, "Is this true?" She said, "Yes." You fired her on the spot, right? No? Why not? Why not? If you're so incompetent you don't know your IRS is weaponizing itself against half of the American people, and you found out that it did happen, you would fire the person, right? But you didn't. So maybe you're lying. The National Security Agency is collecting billions of emails and transactions, cell phone calls, texts every single day. The Fourth Amendment says that each one of those has to be accompanied by an oath or affirmation. That's a lot of oaths and affirmations, don't you think? A lot of oaths and affirmations. Mr. President, you claim you didn't know anything about it until you read it in the newspaper. So your National Security Agency, of the government of which you're the chief executives, has been violating the Fourth Amendment billions of times every single day, and you didn't know about it? Really? Who did? Why didn't you know about it? How come somebody else had to find out? And how come you didn't know about it until you read it in the papers? Okay. Either that or you're lying. And you said you could, like your health plan, you could keep your health plan. You didn't put an asterisk there. You said period. You said period. Now that one, did you not know? Or did you just listen to the people that told you wanted to hear? Or as the chief executive of a company, you're making an advertising claim. You're claiming something for this service. And you either have to deliver on it or you have to recant and you have to apologize and hope you don't go to jail for fraud. But so you either you didn't know when you should have known, or you're lying. And what about the uncle? This uncle that you live with. I'd never lived with this man. I've never met the man. Really? Well, okay, we met him. Some staffer, apparently, some staffer did some research and couldn't find any evidence of Obama living with his uncle, so they issued a statement saying that he'd never lived with his uncle, but that wasn't really Obama speaking. He's either lying or he's incompetent. Those are your choices. You have one or the other. He can be both. And I think I'm going to close with this thing saying, I know a lot of you think he can't be incompetent because Barack Obama is the smartest man who ever lived in the White House. So how can he possibly be incompetent? He went to Harvard. Well, the stupidest man who ever lived in the White House, George Bush, he went to Harvard too. You know what else? He went to Yale. He went to Harvard and Yale. Does that mean he's twice as smart as Barack Obama? Well, he was a C student. Yes, he was. What kind of grades did Barack Obama get? We don't know because they're locked up. Why would you lock up the academic records of a straight A student? He was president of Harvard Law School. Yeah, but he was the only president of Harvard Law School who never wrote a law review. President of Harvard Law Review never wrote a law review. Did you find that a little odd? Why is that? If he's the smartest guy in the world, why you'd be trotting those things out. They'd be getting gold stars. You'd think that the Harvard Law Review would put every single law review that Barack Obama ever wrote up on the fridge in the break room in the lounge with a gold star attached. So how come we don't have those records? Or has it got anything to do with his biography where he claims he was born in Kenya? I'm not saying he was born in Kenya. I am saying he wanted you to think that. What is it about this guy that's so shady? Why can't he tell the truth about anything? What is going on here? What else is he lying about? Hard to say. Hard to say. I'll go with everything. It would be my vote. But anyway,